Good morning, everybody. Welcome to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host. I have a really special guest this morning. I have Steve Chamberlain from 50 Legs that I'm sure you all know. Beth surprised me, Beth Craig, who I asked to come in to talk about the Boston Marathon. And she said, I have a surprise. And, of course, we have Hillari, former select woman and school committee woman, that always codes with me down here, and we have a good time. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to hear all about
it.
What's happening. And you just had a fundraiser,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yep, we sure did. Best one we had today.
And where was it?
The private golf course in Hudson, Nashville.
Sky Meadow?
Sky Meadows, yeah. Yeah, Sky Meadows, the owner is so amazing to us. Rob Parsons, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He gives it to us for a good price. The food's good. The venue's top notch. And we raised like $125,000, most we've ever raised on one night.
You do amazing things. And will you just explain to some people? I've known Steve for a very long time. It was like deja vu when he walked in.
You still look the same.
Oh, thanks. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I must look very old when I was young. But he's the brother of my son's best friend. And so it's so funny to see us back together. But Steve had an accident and lost his leg.
Yep.
And many years ago, he used to be a motorcyclist.
Yep.
Do you still drive?
Yep.
Do you
I'm
really?
not the brightest. I'm not the brightest bulb in the circle. I mean, let's be honest here.
And then instead of feeling sorry for himself, he went and he established 50 Legs.
Yep.
So could you? I know people have heard of it and what it does, what the organization does.
Yeah, so I lost my leg in 99, 26 years this year. It just seems like, it doesn't even seem normal now, like it's Memorial Day. I drove by the site yesterday when I was on my way through Drake to go get a coffee, actually, at Down's. And, just driving by there, and I kiss my cross every morning and thank God that the accident happened. I was, you knew me when I was a kid. I was just an idiot, just going down the wrong way. Truthful. I mean, listen, we all know it. I was just going the wrong path, and then when I lost my leg, I came across. I used to see kids and everybody just with these horrible legs and never walked good, and I was like, what the hell? I don't get it. I always had good legs and I walked good. So I'm like, I got to do something for these kids. Jimmy Hart is the mouth of the South.
Don't pay any attention, just keep going.
Oh, Jimmy Hart is the mouth of the South, one of the old wrestlers from the Deep South.
Don't touch that. Don't leave it alone.
Don't. See, he'll
All
let
right,
you.
yeah, all right. My bad connection. So Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, and I were doing this wrestling thing, and he said to me, he's like, hey, man, he goes, you got to do something for your charity. I'm like, let's start a charity. I'm like, he goes, let's get legs for people. I'm like, that's a great idea. So I started 50 Legs in 50 days. Not knowing the prices of legs, obviously. I'm like, I can do that, no problem. But the price of legs for most of these companies are ridiculous, $25,000 for a leg. I mean, that's why we're able to help so many people, because we get them for a cost through the companies that manufacture them. Like OSA gives us 40% off. So I can get a kid walking with a leg for $2,500.
Wow.
And that's with the cast, with
Wow.
everything. Yeah, so that's the reason why we are able to help so many people. And I found a company in Orlando, Stan Patterson, POA, that's, these big companies that are around, they just don't do what they take 3 to 5 months to make a prosthetic. We make them in 3 days.
Wow.
And that's the difference. I mean, everything's custom made too, though, from the liner. Like most of ththese people just get off the shelf liners with a pin system because that's the easiest, fastest way to make a leg. But it's not the best. And then the older people, they don't care if they ever walk again. They'll leave the legs in the nursing home. I go visit so many people, and their legs, they're 50, 60, 70,000 legs in the corner. They'd never walk because it was uncomfortable.
Right.
So that's and that's why I started, because I wanted kids to have a better life. And insurance companies will buy a leg for a kid, but they won't buy a running blade. So that's the cheetah blade, they call them.
Yep.
So they won't buy running blades, swimming stuff for the kids. So that's where the charity comes in mostly.
Yeah.
I pay for their flights, their hotels. I take everybody to Orlando. I only use one place in Orlando, Stan Patterson, POA, the best in the world by far. There's not one prosthetic company in the world that compares to it. It's 30,000 square feet big. They got 30 employees, and there's probably like 6 to 8 of them that are amputees. So they know what you're going through.
Yeah.
So if you go to another prosthetic company, you walk in their office, they're in white suit coats, which they're not doctors. I don't know why they wear white suit coats. My guy, he's got a cut-off shirt. He's got big arms. He's like, come on in, man. He's the best Christian. When I met him, he's this good Christian, doesn't cuss, doesn't swear. I walk in, I'm like, what's up, mother? What's up, man? Let's do this. Shook hands. This is 15 years coming up. 15 years coming up, and it's been nothing but awesomeness.
Oh, it's been huge. You're all over the country.
Yeah, some of the Boston survivors we get legs for still. That's why we do the marathon, and we bought over 8,000 prosthetics now today.
Wow.
You should be very proud.
Yeah, when you start off with just 50, I guess that's a pretty good goal to be.
Yeah, kid from Tingsboro.
Yeah. Dumbass kid from Tingsboro. At that.
Well, we all do. Some of us grow up.
Hey, listen, it took me to get my leg ripped off.
Right. Now, Steve, can I ask a question
Of
about
course.
as the kids grow and get older, are they able to get a new prosthetic?
100%.
You start to grow with them? And how does that work?
It's so funny you ask that. Everybody asks that question because that's you would think like the big hospitals and all those people cut you off at 18. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's I don't understand that at all. So it's basically, and the legs that most these places make and hospitals make aren't they're nowhere not even close to what I've seen. So many, like legs come from like all these big hospitals and big companies that have like hundreds of them. They're the shittiest legs you've ever seen on a human being. Like some of them still have belts holding them on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like Vietnam days. It's horrible. Like I show those to people and I'm like, they'll come to our shop and they'll be like, where did you go? And I hear where they went. I'm like, how can you do that to a kid? You're not helping the kid. You're hurting them for 18 years. And then you're going to be like, yeah, go learn how to walk again because you walk like crap. And it's bad, but it's my kids come twice a year.
Wow.
So all the kids that's why I'm so close. That's why they all call me Uncle Steve.
Right,
That's why I'm
right.
so close to all these kids. I get to see them twice a year. And I always usually take them shopping or something and, get no-legged kids, a couple pairs of sneakers. It's a cool thing. They look at us like, you need sneakers? It's got no legs, dude. So like, it's twice a year. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
That's
like,
wonderful.
but the people like me, I mean, I don't need a leg ever because my leg stays the same,
Right.
usually 90% of the time. But I'll get a new foot now and then, like every 3 years or something, just so it don't wear out and stuff like that. But the kids come friggin' twice a year.
I love that.
But imagine, like I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just saying, imagine having your kid and you have to come up with, because these companies aren't going to give you the deals that we get.
Yeah.
So they're going to charge you $15,000 for a running blade that I pay $1,500 for. It's just stupid. It's like
Isn't that awful?
Yeah, and then the time the kids get their legs, if they don't have the co-payment through these big companies, they don't get their leg.
Wow.
So they got to do fundraisers. Then I've heard so many,
my goodness.
and then there's so many horror stories. Like one of the kids in Florida on the other coast, when I first started going to Stan Patterson, POA, they called me from Cocoa Beach, where I Dream of Genie was made. I just learned that out, so I plugged it. I'm just kidding. The kid was from Cocoa Beach, and his grandmother called him. He goes, "I can't do this no more. I can't do this." The time we raised the $5,000, his legs didn't fit.
Oh, God.
So and he's missing both of them from lawnmowers, and he's got both at the ankles, which is the worst. To fit a kid below the ankles is stupid. People got to cut you need at least 4 or 5 inches above the ankle and 6 to 8 below, because it makes you get a prosthetic foot. Because it's you want the springy ones, so he'll never have a springy foot. Or a running blade because his ankles.
People
are
don't
cut so
think, I
low.
would never.
But but all doctors want to save more than cut off more. But if they realize that all that's doing is hurting the kid down the road, they would cut up a little high. I mean, you're already losing your legs.
Right.
What's a couple inches? You know what I mean? So, but anyways, they raised the $5,000, and the time they got it, the legs didn't fit.
Oh, goodness.
So his grandmother called me. He came in that day because it was only like an hour away, and we had him walking the week after, and I mean that week, and he went to school with his legs, and it was like.
That's great.
But now he comes like once every 3-4 years because he's a big kid.
Well, you see athletes now running with artificial legs.
Oh yeah.
Now tell me about the marathon, because Beth,
I'll let Beth start it. Beth start that.
because she has run the marathon,
I have.
not run
She
the
runs
marathon.
everything.
I have finished.
She pushed her mother in the
finished.
marathon.
I
Yeah.
did. I pushed my mom also down in Boston. It's a wild course. It's one of those things that you love it and hate it all at the same time. It's a very difficult course in the sense, if you were a real runner, you think the course is downhill for quite a bit of ways, and then you hit, the Newton, the heartbreak. When you're pushing 100 pounds in front of you, it's not completely downhill or flat. So you're feeling the little ups and downs.
It's electric, don't lie.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. Listen, I swear to God, I was like, I wonder if Beth's mother will let me push her. Put an extension on it, right? With little electric shit.
We saw you at the Middleman's race. She loves
God.
seeing you.
Oh, she's awesome.
But the race course is full of people, and when we raced it, we weren't worried about time. It was a giant parade of celebration for her, and we stopped and said hello to everyone we knew on the course. People were out there cheering for her. People had signs for her that we didn't even know, just because we had made a bit of a hullabaloo before we were racing. The news picked her story up.
Well, it's an
We
amazing
stopped
story.
for
Your story is an
everybody.
amazing
But
story.
everybody's waiting for Babs to do something. It's like,
Yeah.
she got her own freaking website. Let's see
Honest to
Babs. Let's
goodness.
go. She's going somewhere.
So it took us a little over 7 hours, but she was waving like she was the Queen of England, and she had a ball. She had a ball. So at the end of the day, it was a long day. It was very long. The course is challenging, but the crowd loved her and she enjoyed it. I was just saying to Steve, you always look for that double blue line, you're on the finish. And so her chair just carries all my stuff, all my fuel, all my snacks, and her stuff too. So we were carrying some extra weight, and we dumped all that off. We got on the finish line, and I straightened her hat. I'm like, you're going to get some pictures right now. You got to look good, girl. And I'm like, are you ready? She's like, I'm ready. So we just charged into the finish line, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
It's very emotional. You're still emotional.
It's still emotional for
It
me
is.
because we were
That's-
just
that
talking
is-
about her this
it
morning.
really
like,
is. That's a.
you just go out of you. I go out of my way for her. She just started to say she misses this and misses that. So we're on some lists to be in a duo lottery. So stay tuned. Babsy's on the move this year. I think she's tired of being on.
How many Bostons did you run?
I've raced 4 Bostons, 1 with Greater Lowell, 3 with Team Hoyt, and then 1 with my mom with Team Hoyt. So right now what we do is we have, we call it the pickle stop up at the top of Heartbreak, that we support all of our racers that run for Team Hoyt, the Hoyt Foundation.
Please
And
explain the Hoyt Foundation to people as well.
So there are 11 chapters across the country. We're all separate entities. So we're Team Hoyt New England. That's who we're a part of. And we go from C to C. We have Team Hoyt San Diego and a few in between.
And that was a father and son.
the father and son. They have the Hoyt Foundation.
Oh, that's right.
We got the opportunity to meet them at Disney.
oh my
When
gosh.
my late husband ran his last Disney marathon. We
Oh
just
my
happened to walk
gosh.
out of the expo, and they were there, and it was one of their last Disneys together,
Yeah.
which was amazing.
Did your husband do all the Disney things? All,
He,
like
he
that?
ran the marathon multiple times, and he ran Lowell. He unfortunately
Bay
passed
State.
before he could get to Boston, but Matt Durkin ran in his
Oh,
honor
yes,
that year.
yes,
So
the
we're
Dirks.
grateful that
We
Matt
are
ran
grateful.
for
Yes,
Eric.
he's great
but-
too.
Yeah, we met them. They're what an
my
amazing story
goodness.
they had, and
Yeah. So the Hoyt Foundation is sort of the Boston Marathon Foundation that, not that they do a bunch of other things for so many different people. Rick was involved in so many different organizations that helped him, and they're always giving back. But Dick and Rick's claim to fame was the Boston Marathon. So anybody racing on that charity, they raise money so then they can give back. But the chapters get together at the top of Heartbreak, and we support all
Oh,
the
how
runners.
exciting.
And we support all the runners,
Yeah.
Even
especially
me.
the charity runners,
Even
because
me.
they're coming up from
I
behind.
see this knucklehead up there. I'm like, what the hell's
We
going
waited
on?
for Steve last year.
She's like, you close? I'm like, I don't know, dude.
kept
There's no mile markers anymore. They took them down after 6 hours.
Right.
Do
That's
you,
what
have you
happens.
run the marathon?
Last year?
I did it last year.
Last
Are
year.
you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't-
Aren't you
listen,
too
look
old to
at-
be doing that?
I'm
We're
too,
too
no,
old.
look at this body. This body don't run. I'm a walker. So I walked last year, but but it was ironic because Jeff Bowman, one of the Boston survivors, he called me out pretty much again this year too, and last year because I always get bibs. I call him for his bibs. I say, hey, buddy, what are you doing with your bibs this year? And Charity needs a couple. He'll be like, yeah, of course, Stevie. Give me his bibs. And then when I told him I was running, he goes, you going to run? I go, yeah. He goes, why? He goes, good, about time, because every year we have runners. Yeah. We've raised millions and millions of dollars off of doing it. I mean, millions of dollars. So I was like, all right. I got to beat everybody, though. Like, nobody can beat me money-wise. I'd be pissed. This is my charity. I've been doing this since day one. These guys just started running. They just ran this marathon. I'm like, ain't nobody going to beat me. So I went to everybody. I was begging for money. One of my board members actually gave me a bunch of money and had it matched. So right there, we got like $400,000.
Oh,
so
wow.
I ended up raising $530,000, which is the most ever for one person in the charity's history, in the marathon history.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was like, that's it? But they raise millions because, the big hospitals and all them people, they raise millions, but they get 200 bibs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's amazing. I mean,
Getting
it really
bibs is a big thing. I never
a big
knew that
deal.
when Eleanor McGarry was the first person I knew to run the marathon. Getting a bib is really a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's but you know what though, they the people that run it, the BAA, they're awesome. Like, they've been treating on my charity like last year was the first year that my charity is affiliated with the Boston Marathon now. Like, my stuff can have Boston Marathon on it now.
Awesome.
But it's going to be Adidas, I think, right? But I mean, who cares? I mean, but just to be affiliated with the marathon now, I mean, out of the hundreds and hundreds of charities, to be where we're at, money-wise, I think we're in the top, I thought she said 27th or something like that of charities raising money. That's pretty amazing when you're against, all these hospitals that are getting hundreds of bibs and raising millions of dollars. So it's an honor. The Boston Survivors that we still help, we're still close to, and they give us whatever they can. And then, I think we got 13 this year that run.
Well, it's not all glamour. I know I've done some small, nothing compared to you guys. And it's just, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing fundraising for things like that.
Oh, yeah, I do it year round. It's definitely, and I have my business, so it's definitely, I tell people all the time, they think money just falls out of trees. It's like, you got to literally, every day, if you come across somebody, like, I always wear my 50 Lake shirt because somebody would ask me, and then I'm like, how much money you got, bro? Hook a brother up, man, $10 somewhere.
Empty your pockets.
Well, I won't say that because then they'll be like, we knew he was going to rob me. Look at this guy, tattoos and the earring.
Big dude.
6'3", 260, but he's going to steal something off me. But no, no pun intended, we have a leg to stand on now. We've been 14 years. We're in the high 90s give back. I mean, there's not many charities raise as much as we do and give back as much as we do and do as much as we do. Like, we just do a lot. I mean, I help tons of kids with cancer, lawnmower accidents, shock attacks, bombings. I mean, the list goes on. It's the craziest story ever, man.
Yeah.
I've helped we're probably over 100 kids from lawnmower accidents.
Wow.
It's the number one reason for kids under 10 years old losing
Lawnmower accidents?
Lawnmower,
Yikes.
Yep.
That
Number one
seems
reason.
avoidable.
You would think. I mean, but it's all dumb accidents.
Right.
Like this one kid, it was Father's Day, and his mother was at his brother-in-law's house, and something was going on, and then they get out, and he got on his lawnmower, and the kid was just swinging on the swing set, and the ropes that hold it down. One of his tires hit the rope and swung up and went this way, and he swung into it. It's just I got a million of them.
Freaky accident.
Yeah, it's all it is. It's all it is. Like,
Well, the blink of an eye. We all, you hear that and you don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
Well, you.
I see it. I see it every day. Honestly, we get applications every day. So I see crazy. I mean, the stuff you would be like, no way that happened. I'm like, trust me, I want to sit here for an hour for you. I mean, I got PTSD from this stuff. I promise you. I hear so much stuff, and you listen to the people, and it just, we got so many applications. I can't help everybody, and that's what kills me. Yeah, I have a hard time saying no to anybody, anybody. But kids, there's no no to no kids and vets. Kids and vets go right top of the line no matter what. So any vet that needs help, we're here, and any kids, we don't say no to kids and vets. The people we say no to is somebody will call me, somebody called me one day, and this is a hint, so if you're trying to get an application, don't say this.
Don't say this.
The guy says to me, he's like, well, he goes, oh yeah, I want to get a leg so bad. And then I'm like, what are you trying to do? He's like, well, I can't get a leg for 3 months. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, I got to get disability first. I said, yeah, well, bro, I'm not the guy that's going to get you a leg. Because I want you to get your life back. And
Yeah.
the reason why I'm buying you a prosthetic leg is to do.
There's the difference.
Do something with the society. Don't, oh, you want to get to the I don't know, whatever. I just, that's my biggest pet peeve is like people like that. If they want to get their lives back, I'm here to help. If you just want to get Social Security and be a nobody for the world, I'm the wrong charity.
Well, going back to that when we first started, and something that triggered it in my mind was that so many of the legs don't fit right.
Yep.
And if they don't fit right, they're never
They
going
hurt.
to, and then they're not going to do anything.
They won't wear 'em.
They'll never wear
I
them.
mean, isn't that kind of the same with like most medical devices? And I think my son broke his back a number of years ago, and they gave him this generic brace to wear, and it didn't fit him right. That it was during COVID and a million things. We spent a lot of money on that brace that he wore once.
And that's,
And I mean, he's fully healed. He's an outdoor adventurist and hiker, so he never let any of that stop him. But you think about that, like he was only going to be in that brace for a short period of time, and he wore it once and said, "I'll do anything not to put that thing on again."
And
that's-
insurance
it's the
companies
same
pat themselves on the back.
And
Well, you know
a
what?
leg they need forever.
and it's like, that's the perfect analogies. That's honestly awesome. It's like, that's the way it is. It's so these companies, they don't give a shit if you wear it for a day or every day. They cash you with it, put you with it, and that's it.
Can't use the S word.
Oh, yeah, see what?
Oh, stop your swearing. Tough guy.
No swear. Some things never change.
Just be-
No swear Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bessie has a no
Hey.
swear Sunday rule. Now it's no swear Wednesday.
Yeah, take that back next time.
Bleep.
Oh yeah, bleep that.
Beeping that. Beep that out. Well, then I guess we'll have to get you some more money so you don't have to say no to anybody.
Yeah.
That sounds about right in my
Yeah.
book.
But that's the gist of
Right.
everything. Like you said,
Sure.
that like, do you see these? If you go to a nursing home, anybody with a prosthetic, go to a nursing home and anybody with a prosthetic. I'll bet anybody right now, $1,000, they're in the corner. They're not near them. They're nowhere near where they're going to wear them because they hurt so bad. And they're all in still check sockets or these fake leather looking. It's disgusting. And they weigh so much because they still haven't gotten their carbon fiber. Mine weighs like 5 pounds. The ones I've had people come in like with legs that they got from somewhere else, and they're like 18 pounds, and I'm like, God dang, your mother, like your mom, she's 100 pounds. Imagine her having to wear a prosthetic leg that was all this hard plastic and not even made right, no carbon fiber. I mean, it's just
Well, why does that happen? I'm so annoyed by.
money. It's all about the money.
Well, healthcare today is all about the money.
Nah, but this company, there's so many companies just in Boston alone that they just don't care, and it's sad. It kills me because it kills me because I'm not a fan of that, and I get a big mouth. Like I'm the most hated person in the prosthetic world by far, because I tell it how it is, and I call these companies out. I'm like, oh, like I go visit people in the hospital if they call me, and I go visit them, and I'm in there. One day there was a company in St. Pete that walked in, and the guy walks in with his name of his company, it was this white jacket. I'm like, oh God. So I walk in, and he sees me, and he knows me, and he goes, oh crap. Guess we lost another one. I'm like, yep, because we do it the right way. He wouldn't even go back in the room with the kid. He never went and seen the kid because he knew I was going. That's pretty sad. You're not doing what we do.
Isn't that sad? Because you would think we all want. And one of my pet peeves here on the show, and I'm on the nonprofits because they don't show results. They're not made to. No, it's all, as you say, it's about money. They raise all this money. They go back every year. Oh yeah, for more money, but they don't show any success stories.
Hey, listen, I'm glad you said it, not me, but that's a
I mean,
fact.
I work in certain nonprofit sectors, but the ones that I'm involved in personally, I think it's the ones that have someone like you with a mission because they've been touched by it. I work with it, on the board and raise a lot of money for a charity because it's a passion of mine, because I was widowed at a young age, and I want, you had a life-changing experience.
100%.
And those are the nonprofits that seem to struggle to make money, but everything they make, they give back because they're invested in the mission, versus people that have others that have nonprofit status it's not a mission-driven organization. It's just
There's no
nonprofit
love for it.
status.
There's no
Yeah.
listen, there's a million things for cancer, a million. I help kids with cancer. I get it, but like, I don't even want to get into that, but listen, people love my charity because you see where the proof is. The proof's in the pudding. I help people. There's videos of hundreds of kids every year and what they're doing, where they're going. Mickey Ward Foundation donates to my charity, and they help these. I get it every year. We get running kids that want to do sports. And that's my biggest thing now is like, I've never realized how impactful it was for these kids. Like all my kids, you guys all walk around with, even if you're broken back, broken this, you have all your limbs. There's kids that I help that have no arms and no legs, and they go away for the weekend. I mean, I think we send them 4 events a year, and it's like the Junior National Paralympics.
I love
It's the tryouts and all this stuff, and they all made it last year. It was 9 of them. Or 10 of them. And I won't never forget one of the little girls says to me, she's a little Mexican girl. She goes, Uncle Steve. I go, what, sweetheart? She goes, thank you. I said, thank you for what? She goes, nobody's here staring at me. I'm not different. So to me, and there's thousands of kids there. There's thousands and thousands and thousands. But it's not just him. It's tons of amputees, people that are like paralyzed. There's kids that they got these bikes. There's blind kids that run. There's blind kids that do all these events. And it's cool. Like, I'll never miss one again now because I love to see all the smiles on their faces, and it rewards me of what I'm doing to keep pushing more. And you know what I mean? But you get but I get it. It's a struggle. It really is. I think we're coming to a pretty good point now, like with people and board members that I got, and just figuring it. I mean, it's 14 years I've been doing this, man. I didn't know shit about. Nothing about this. I didn't know nothing about this charity, like nothing. I didn't know what it was like to raise money. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, we got a 501c3, and then we hired an account lady that's been with us forever. She works at an awesome church. Vivian's her name. She's awesome. Little black lady. She's the nicest woman in the world. That woman is like my gold. Like, she'll see something pop up. Like, one day I used my credit card because it looks the same. I used my credit card, $64 at gas. She calls me. She goes, did you use the credit card for gas? I said, yes. I'm like, how do you know where my money's going? She goes, that was the 50 legs card. I'm like, oh. Takes it out of my account, puts it in an account. I'm like, it's $60, dude. It's my truck. I'm driving to Orlando to go see the kids. What the hell's wrong with you? I was like, this is nuts. But it's true. Like, these huge charities, they don't. It's just people like, look, we all want to get. Listen, if I was raising money right now for puppy dogs and kittens, you guys all be throwing money at me.
That's right.
But if the leg does, I tell this all
You're
the time
absolutely
because
right.
I'm 100% right. Because if it doesn't affect your life. We're Americans. We don't give a rat's butt. We just don't care. It don't affect your life. Don't affect your life. Don't affect your life. You're not watching this little kid put a leg on in the morning before he goes to school. Make sure it's on right. Make sure the liner's not ripped. Make sure the suction's working. Make sure this is working. Going in the middle of the night to take a shower. I went yesterday to buy a new chair to sit in so I can shower at my buddy's house. I mean, you don't think of the stuff. Like, I'd love to be able to get up in the middle of the night and take a pee without using crutches or jumping. I'd love that. That would be a dream. Just taking a shower, I'd be able to stand up one more time. That would make my life. But it's the stupid little things. But in my head, to me, I'm a grown man. I'll figure it out no matter what. The kids get to my head. It's like I never want them to say, why can't I? I wish I could have did this. I wish I could have did that. And I'm here to tell them, all my kids, I'm like, what do you need? You need something else? You want another leg? Whatever it is, we're going to get them. Because I want kids to be kids. Play with little Johnny. Go run out. Go get a black eye. Go have
black eye.
Like, one of the kids.
Maybe not the black eye.
One of the kids that just spoke the other night. This is funny. One of the kids that spoke the other night at the gala got in a motorcycle accident. So he's talking about it. His dad's like, I got a feeling he's going to get back on a bike. I'm like, I know he is. His father goes, you're no help. I'm like, yes, I am. Let him be a kid. He's 19 years old. Right. So he got an e-bike, and he's popping wheelies on his friends. He finally got his own e-bike, and he crashed it this weekend. His father sends me pictures. Road rash both legs, his prosthetic side, his elbow. And his father goes, yep. So when he gets to listen to Uncle Steve, I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I mean, that's what it's about.
Right,
I mean, how
right.
many times do you fall down and we all get back up?
Right.
But you've changed lives, so many lives.
It's a blessing. That's just God, man. This is all
Well, it
God's
is.
work,
You talk about blessings, and
Yeah.
your husband passed away, and how difficult it was, and your mom. I have 3 people from Tingsboro, little Tingsboro, that have changed so many lives.
It's funny if
It
you
makes
think
me
about
cry. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed.
I love that.
But I think like that's the difference when you reach a point where you can say like, it's about, making sure someone else doesn't have that same, even if it was not bad experience, but you want someone else to have a better experience going through it because
Yeah.
you know how tough it was.
Yeah.
And again, I was fortunate. I always say I had a community of people behind me. I had a lot. I had people that took my kids in school under their wings, things like that, to get them through. But that's what fuels you to give back, is to make sure somebody's life is a little bit better than yours.
Especially that, like you said, when you lose your kids are so young, that's tough. I know people, like a lot of my friends, and they're just different breeds too. They're not the same kids as they were when they were kids. They lose them so young,
Oh,
But
and
it's just,
we were talking off air, and his brother and my son, and I see it when you see the fentanyl issue. We went through it in
Oh, yeah.
Tingsboro, and we had lost a lot of good kids.
we had family members that were bad on it, Now you look at them and everybody's got their lives together. Thank God, because it could have been the other way.
It's not
Or
easy,
still
though.
messed up,
It's not easy,
No.
and it does take a whole community.
sure.
It isn't something, and that's one of the problems with it. Bob Cox is going to be on at the end of the month to talk about Bridge House, and another one of charity that I love because there are results. The results. It's not an easy thing when you're dealing with addiction. You can't just put them in detox
That's stupid.
for 3
That's-
days and send
yeah.
them out and think everything's going to be fine. And they all pat themselves on the back. And one of John's big issues is the nonprofits go home at 4:00 on Friday.
Right.
And they're not there for the weekend. You talk a little thing like showering, about getting up and going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, things that nobody ever think that doesn't fall into the 9 to 5
Yeah.
slot. And that's what I get so annoyed with nonprofits, and it goes back to exactly what you said. They don't have their heart in it. It's just
The thing that gets to me is like people that they make so much money off of it. It's
Oh.
like all these you look at all these NBA big time players, and they all got these awesome charities, but they got their cousins, mothers, aunts working for them, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So it's just that's the stuff that kills me. It's like you're in it for the wrong. You're doing it to be like, I do this, but then you look at their percentage and you go, well, that's 35%. They're 70% of it's going to paying
well, you're
people.
going to change the change.
Administrative
How many
costs.
legs
Yeah,
I could
I do. I think of legs. I look at these charities. I look at the guys that are making 400,000, 500,000, $1 million something off a charity a year. I'm like, give me $1 million a year, and that's 300 people I'll get legs for. Money's charity. Like to me, money is like people say, I'll give you $5,000. I'm like, that's awesome. You got 2 legs for a kid. You know what I mean? So like money to me is legs. Like, I don't go, oh, there's going to be $1 million in my account. That money does nothing for me sitting there. And then, like one of the ladies that runs POAs, Stephanie Kingston, she says all the time, she's like, your charity is the funniest one in the world. I go, what do you mean? She goes, you guys get the money and you buy 50 legs right away. Because I'm like, because we have a list. I'm like, yeah,
Right,
let's
right.
fill this guy up. Like yesterday morning, we were helping a kid, and then I got a call. I went to go visit a guy from Tingsboro yesterday, behind G&G Liquor. He lives on the top of G&G, the breakfast place by the police
yeah,
station.
yeah.
So I went to go see him. He lost his leg a month ago, and he's above the knee, and he was just like, these prosthetic companies going in there trying to suck the life out of his insurance already. I'm like, what? He's got stitches in his leg, and they want to put a shrinker on his leg. I'm like, bro, I know doctors do that, but I'm like, don't let them do that. It makes no sense. You got stitches and you want to squeeze it. That don't make no sense, dude.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, well, it doesn't. I'm like, yeah. I goes, that's the prosthetic company coming in, right? He's like, yeah. They're trying to get your money already. And it's sad that these hospitals, they introduce them to these people. You know what I mean? Because they all get it's all the big brother system. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'll give you this. Oh, hook me up with I'll give you on the back end, I'll give you some cash in an envelope. That's all they are. That's all it is.
It's not healthcare. We could never run our office. Bown could never run the office
Oh, God.
today with the
Oh,
insurance.
Doc couldn't do it?
No.
Dr. Bow, I love him. He worked a lot, though.
Oh,
He
yeah.
worked a lot.
But it was a local that, he'd come home with a cabbage or something. That's the type of practice we had. He
Yeah.
made house calls.
Yeah.
And they
Everybody
don't.
loves Dr. Bown. That's
Yeah.
funny. I keep forgetting he was a doctor. As soon as you said it, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, he
oh,
really
God,
was. But he was stitching people up at the football games and stuff on the bench, and you just couldn't do it now.
Oh, cannot do that now.
The insurance company would be all
But that's
over you.
sad though. Like everybody's so happy and just
I couldn't have the rink. Remember I had a rink?
Yes.
Couldn't have it. Because, kids get hurt.
Sure.
And I just happened to have a doctor in-house that could
yeah.
fix the injuries, so.
I lived on Maplewood Ave growing up, and Ann Knight, who was my godmother, she was sort of the neighborhood nurse. So
Yeah.
if you went flying down the road, fell off your bike, or needed a couple
Which
stitches,
everybody
we all
did.
just would walk down to her house and
Yeah.
sit in the kitchen, and she would help us. And,
But can you imagine
you
that's
can't
how
do
it's
it now.
changed though?
Yeah,
Like
cannot.
the world's so
Right,
crazy now.
right.
And docs can't even look at you. And listening to you talk about the prosthetics, you go into the doc, he has to check off all the boxes.
Well, and how long is the average wait? Because you can't even get in to see specialists, right? You could wait a year
Yeah.
to get into specialists. How long is the typical wait for someone to get?
For a prosthetic?
Yeah.
Through us or through
No,
anybody?
through like normal.
Well,
and then for you.
well, here's what they do. So these
They
companies.
send you to 5 places first, right?
Yeah. Seriously. So what they usually do is, like, I won't say the name because I bury this company as much as I can and they hate me already. But the biggest company out there, they own a bunch of shops. So they'll when you go in for your first visit, they'll make you 4 other visits, which I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean, you look at the lady's stump, her stump or his stump, and you look at it, you're like, all right, well, I need to do this. It's ready to heal. Come back in 3 months, we'll cast you. Not come back in 3 weeks, we'll look at it again, and then give you another thing. So all it is just these companies sucking the blood out of these poor people that are going through a trauma that want to have a leg now. Because the average for a kid to wait is 6 to 8 weeks for a stump to heal with stitches and adults too, unless you're diabetic, and then you got to worry about that. And just there's so many things. But with my company, we fly people in on Sunday. They go in Sunday, and then Monday morning they get an evaluation and they get casted for a liner, a custom line. Everything's custom made at our place. Everything everywhere else, 99.9% of them are off the shelf liners. Ours are custom made. They'll tell the people they customize them because they trim it. They'll cut the top of it and they get $1,000 for that because it's
My goodness.
customizing the prosthetic for the liner. So everything we do is in-house, customized. So that's Monday. They go there Monday morning, they get fitted for that. That takes 2 hours to make it and let it dry and cure. Then by 10 to 11-ish, they'll cast them and they'll cast them for a check socket. So they'll get them a check socket. The check socket will dry, everything will dry and everything, and they'll have that ready by 2:30 in the afternoon. They're usually walking or standing the first day. The second day, 100%, or third day, second or third day, 100% already taken steps.
Wow.
And that's double amputees, single amputees.
Wow.
So it's, there you go. There's a bunch of my kids there. That was at the Mecum auction. Yep.
So anybody out there, we'll have all the information because you put it aside somewhere, put it in a safe place because you never know. It's not something you ever expect you're going to need or you're going to want to
Girl in the
reach out
middle
to.
right there, Katie Eddington, Katie Bug Racing. She is sponsored by Toyota for 3 years now. She's 16 now. She's a lot bigger than that now. She's 16 now, and she's sick. She's got my credit card for DoorDash. I swear to God, she DoorDashes all the time. I go, hey, can I DoorDash? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I got a couple friends over. I'm like, go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just some of the things. Yeah, that's
Well, they
little
are-
Jules. That was Hulk Hogan that Brett Michaels did a concert for us one year. It was awesome.
What
That
I
kid-
also love, despite the tragedy that has happened,
Yeah, right there.
your name
Celeste Cochran, she's Boston bombing survivor.
comes up. Right, you'll see something that's happening, and I've texted you,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I just saw this accident, and you have said to me, they already contacted me
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time. So, despite the bad event that has happened,
Oh, he's changed.
Oh,
lives.
it's
it's this guy's name
And
that
you
is
know,
being
God,
passed
thank
around.
God.
I do. Listen,
Strangest
listen.
thing, but you do thank God.
You know what it is when you're in the hospital, and you know nobody with a prosthetic leg. You don't know nothing about a prosthetic leg. It's crazy what goes through your mind when all you can do is sit there anyways. You're in pain all day long. They're doing that wet to dry 3 times a day on my leg because of the radiator fluid. So they put it in wet, rip it out dry.
Oh.
All this. I cried 3 times a day. It was the most. Even whatever they did, the BOA, give you more pain pills. It didn't help. But when you're in there, you have nothing but thought. And I'm sitting there going, what am I going to do? And then I was like, I want to go back into wrestling. So that was my focus was go back into wrestling when I get out of the hospital. So there was nobody, and I went to 25 different prosthetic companies. Nobody would see me because I didn't have insurance. I didn't have no money. I didn't have no insurance. Nobody would ever see me. The last place I went to was up in Burlington. I walked down the thing, and I'm driving my buddy's old stinking Lincoln. It was like 70-something. I'm driving that thing and get in there. I got no leg. Driving with my left foot and a crutch. And the guy comes running downstairs. I'm crying. I'm like, this is it. I guess, I don't know. I guess this is it forever. You don't know. So he comes down. He goes, hey, there's a company up in Bedford, New Hampshire. It was called Next Step. And this guy's name was Peter Kucha. He just passed away recently, which I owe him a lot. The guy was the best. So I go see him, and he's like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to get back into wrestling. He was like, all right, come on, let's go. Get started. That day, he took me in the office. That week, I was walking, and I was like in tears. And he puts me in the bars. He goes, all right, stand up. I'm like, I'm not standing up in these bars. I said to him, he goes, what do you mean? He goes, I'm walking without these bars. I walked for 29 years. I'm not walking in between this. So I got out and walked. He was like, oh boy, you're gonna be trouble. So I was like, I walked perfect. He was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe you're doing so well. Like after the first 5 times walking in his office back and forth, fit me, casting me, got me sponsored by Flexfoot and all this stuff, and actually paid me to train to wrestle, paid me to go to Florida. He was like one of the best. He was one of the best. He was like Stan, he passed away, and now I don't know what his company does now, but it's another one that goes back to the old ways of doing things. Because when Peter was alive, it was his way. Mm-hmm. But when he passed, everybody changed. Like he retired years before he passed, though, a couple of years before he passed. And it's, I hope that when Stan goes 100 years from now, his people still do it the same way, and not try to change it to the old ways where it's fast, easy money.
Yeah.
And that's what I see now with all these companies. It's, it's just like fast, easy way to do it. But we get everybody walking within 3 days, 2-3 days tops. Like you were saying, it's time's money. We don't want my prosthetist Stan, he writes that stuff off. If they don't have money for the copay, he won't hold anybody.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's the difference between, owning your business or working in a corporate world where the dollar bill matters.
Getting the look.
Oh, and
Thought
the
I was
insurance
doing something
companies.
wrong.
See, the hospitals, the docs now are all owned by the hospital. You can't practice unless you have a hospital, and the hospitals are owned by the insurance companies.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious circle. So nobody can, and unless we change this, and it has to change, because the health system. Because back when we were practicing, it was a town office. It's similar to what you're doing, and if you were coming to Bown and you lose your job, what am I going to do? Not see you?
Yeah.
Just because you.
Yeah, but now that's Katie right there.
Wow.
Well, and I think, the key is, like you said, getting people up and moving fast. Because the longer you have to sit and kind of feel a little bad or, not get moving. I'm a firm believer in whatever your trauma is, get your body moving. Because when you're moving, you don't have time to let those thoughts just keep going. Just get up and go.
Yeah. On Boston Marathon and the tragedy, how did that change things? Now you were involved in the.
Did you run that?
I did not run that year. There's a lot more security now. Like I said, we do this water stop at the top of Heartbreak, and people just aren't let in. They have all
really?
the Jersey barriers. They have big trucks. Any kind of crossway through, they have the giant trucks from the city, plow trucks or whatnot, they're blocking to make sure, even like a car can't come through and
that's-
hurt anybody.
When you walk that, you do feel safe.
Yeah.
You really
There's a lot
do.
going on. They're bag checking now, what a couple of.
But you see what
donkeys have
evil, you know
changed
what
it.
evil is when you know that happened.
That's just. But there's
It's everywhere.
there's evil
You
everywhere.
gotta
It
keep
doesn't
going.
matter.
There's more good in the world. That's what
Oh, yes.
You have
Look
to
at it. I got
concentrate
a
on
good
it.
table.
You know what
Right,
you
right.
do?
You just have to find
You
it.
do, and then when you like, I know now when I talk to people when they're like, there's a big charity out there that reaches out to me once a year to get involved with them, but they got such a talent for, when they got caught what they were doing, they were only giving away 2%, and they were helping vets. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 2%, like. Yeah, it just made you raise hundreds of millions of dollars.
How much money do you need, really?
Yeah.
Now, on vets, let's talk about the vets.
I love that.
I'm a big vet supporter, obviously. And they must love you.
Yeah, I got a there's a there's a Marine guy. His name's William Baudet. You can look him up. He's on the Discovery Channel. We've helped a couple of his brothers and stuff like that. And he came up to me at a motor. He's a big jacked up dude. I mean, he's huge. He makes me look small. He's a big dude. And he came up to me one day and he's tearing up and he's got a tear in his eye and he goes like this. He goes, I got something for you, brother. I just want you to know you don't go unnoticed. He gave me his Purple Heart.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
So I cried like a friggin', I'm like, so I got a shadow box. I probably have the coolest shadow box in the world. I got a Purple Heart, and then there was a kid that was in Afghanistan. His mother was local here in Lowell, and he reached out to me via letter. And he asked me if I would help his mother. And I'm like, and I got the letter, and then he's like, hey, can you send me some 50 Legs t-shirts? I go, how many? He told me. I sent him. He got them in it took like 2 months to get them or something. It was stupid. Then he sent me a picture with a flag folded up, thanking me for helping his mom.
Wow.
And it was just like, so they had the platoon, all of them ran a 5K for me and raised money.
Oh, wow.
And while they're at war, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, my shadow box is awesome. I got some from 9/11. I got some cool stuff. I mean, real cool stuff that means a lot to me. Like, that Purple Heart was over the top.
Yeah.
It was just, I told somebody the story the other day, and the guy was like, bro, you know what that means? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's why I was crying. I was like, this guy literally came up to me and goes, you don't go unnoticed. And I was like, that right, you don't need no more. I got a Purple Heart, dude. What do you want?
Yeah.
My leg got ripped off in a motorcycle accident. But I got some cool stories from vets that I'll stick. They keep me focused and grounded, and we're all here because of them. You know what I mean? We're, I say that every one of when I speak to people, I'm always like, thank God and thank our vets. I mean, without them, we're not here doing this.
Right.
And it just, so to me, it means a lot just watching, and then watching the vets walk, or they went to the, Stan Patterson used to go to Walter Reed, the guy that makes my legs, because he come up with this invention for a hip dysartics, meaning your hip's gone, so you literally, your ass is in a cup that's made for that. Well, that's what it is. It's your ass. I mean, so you're sitting there, your butt's in a cup, and then there's a pipe that comes down. Stan invented that. So he used to go to Walter Reed all the time, and then they learned how to do it from Stan, and now they do it now. And just but if he ever gets called, he'll stop everything. He's the same way. His dad was a vet, and it's just, but when we talk about God, I there's not a day that I don't thank God for my accident, not one day. And I just listen, I tell people all the time, this is all him doing this, not me. I'm just a passenger to the seat. You know what I mean? He's just driving the wheel, and I'm going right along, and everything we've done, and it's all been good faith and believing in him and not giving up. There's been times I wanted to say, I'm done. It's a lot.
It
know.
is.
I mean, you're in the charity. You guys all know what it's like to, you're going to people all the time, and you're asking and begging, and you're like, this is, I got to, if I put more time in my business, I'd have money. I work 7 days a week, and I barely make it.
Yes.
But right?
But you
I
feel
get
good
I
about
get a call
yourself.
from Babsy, and she's like, I'm seeing all these things about the Falmouth Road race. That was my favorite race of all time. I'm like, what are you saying to me right now? We ready to go? She's like, well, I'm like, okay. So now we're on that list this year, and then
But that's what I'm saying. You're
right, you get a call from
yeah,
somebody,
it's
just like that motivation.
You're important. Listen, we're only as good as the people
Right.
around us.
Yeah.
And then if you get if I got a call from a kid like you got a call from your mom, you're like,
Right.
you drop everything.
Yep.
No matter what you're doing, and I don't
Yeah.
care if I was doing something for my business and I could have made $100,000 that day, and somebody called me and they, hey, you got to come meet this kid just lost a leg, I'd be gone.
Right.
I mean, that's where I've been doing it forever. Like there's nothing means more to me than helping somebody else get their life back. You know, like it's some of them. Like there's people that I gotta give tough love to, and I mean, when I tell you tough love, you ever heard me on my phone with people, you'd be like, how do people talk to this guy? Because I get so, I don't let him be babies,
Passionate.
but I don't let him get
You get
babies.
passionate.
Yeah. There was a lady at POA. Her son lost both legs to a birth defect. He lost both legs. So we're in there, and the mother, every time he fell, the mother ran over to pick him up. Every time. Now I'm going, who's that? So she does it like 2 more times. Everybody's in the office now, stands there. Everybody's
They're
in the
waiting
office.
for you.
And I think that's why they stay there, because Stan never stays in that room that long. So I go, enough, stop. She goes, let the kid get up.
Yeah.
Let the kid get up. He's 4 years old. Let him get up. Let him get up. So finally, like by the end of the day, she was crying when I yelled at her. Like it was a little louder than that. I'm just doing this because he's watching me, and I don't
Yes,
want to get.
we've already been
He
beeped.
might freaking mute me. Yeah. So I literally just I was brutal. And Stan, I go in the other room where the golf room is, and Stan comes in. And he goes. He goes, I wish I could say that. I goes, I know you do, brother. But it was just like, you know, at the end of the day, she let him get up. The kid got up.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm so sorry, Steve. Don't say sorry, but you got to let these kids go. I mean, you're not going to be able to pick him up for the rest of his life.
Right.
He's 16 years old, falls on his legs. When are you going to be there to pick him up? But, you know, to me, it's just let them be kids. Let them fall. Let them
We
get
clone
stitches.
you.
I don't think the world could handle it.
There are two of us.
There's only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all know I am all the time, so it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like we all, everybody's got a passion. Like my passion is my charity. Like, I mean, I love other charities.
Not everybody has a passion.
No. Then don't do it. Don't do it for the money. If you're doing a charity for the money, you're no good.
Yeah.
You really ain't. I mean, if you're not, like my time is like, I'd give anything to help more kids. You know what I mean? My goal is to make $3 million a year, and then we can help hundreds and hundreds every year. Keep it the same thing every year. But people forget, these kids come back every year. Every year, twice a year, all the kids come back until they're in their 16s, 15s, 16s, when they slow down growing, maybe
Slow down growing.
once a year to once every 2 years, you know. But they all need the same components. Their liner's ripped, need a new liner, ship them a liner. It's the little things that you guys wouldn't even think about, like
But then they go on and they live a normal life.
every one of them. I got kids that I've helped since they were 7 that are 20. I got a girl that I helped from high school. She played volleyball. She was in high school. She has her own business now. I mean, I got some awesome stories with these kids.
I'm sure.
Growing up, and I got one girl from Guyana. She moved down here, and she calls me. She's got 2 kids now. It's the best story ever. She calls me. She's like, Uncle Steve. Call me Uncle Steve from day one. Uncle Steve, and I go see her. She's this little girl from Guyana, and her husband was in Orlando, and they were married, and she was moving to Orlando. You had to get all the paperwork, do all this craziness first. So she moved down, and I went to go visit her, and she had a leg on, and I'm going, you already have a leg. She goes, no, I don't. I'm like, okay, well, what is that? You know what it was? She was on crutches. So cosmetically, she duct taped
Oh my goodness.
a styrofoam so it looked like it inside of
Oh,
leg.
God bless her.
So she was so embarrassed to have a fake leg.
Oh my God.
So like, yeah, she's one of my favorites, actually. I love her to death. But she's a mom with 2 kids, and I just had to yell at her again to go get another leg because she just waits too long and it hurts. And I'm like, but yeah, there's a million of them. I mean, honestly, but I listen, I appreciate you guys having me on the show. I love what I do.
Well,
I'll never
anytime
stop.
you're up here, let me know you're going to be, and you can come on and talk,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
and we'll push because you do results. That's my key.
Everybody's gonna see him though. Like, I don't want to give money to like
I agree
a
with you.
cure that, I mean, there's a bazillion dollars they can't even spend.
Steve, before we run out of time, they can't hear me, so you're gonna have to repeat this question.
Oh.
You said earlier, most of the kids lose their leg because of a lawnmower. can you, Linda, repeat the question so the audience knows what the issue is? How the hell does that happen?
Kids
Kid-
under 10.
Well, tell
Kids,
Yeah, yeah.
the largest number.
mom and dad do wrong to let this kid tangle with a lawnmower.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you can let me repeat the question.
Okay, the question was, it came at you, and you said the largest number of kids losing legs was due to lawnmowers.
Lawnmowers, yeah.
And I said, how does that happen? And we're all sitting here saying, how, you know, we all
Yeah.
have kids and we brought them up, and you assume, because I never knew how they ever grew up, but they,
Well, that's
how
usually
does that
like the rite
happen?
of passage, right? Before you get your driver's license, you get to drive the lawnmower.
Yeah,
around
yeah,
here.
everybody. But I mean,
what happens?
Does anybody remember when they were kids and they were jumping off the edge of the lawnmowers? I used to jump off my grandfather's when I was in Littleton, Mass, because you used to have this spring on the side of it. So you'd be like, "Dang," while he's driving the lawnmower. So it's all like, man, we're over 100 kids from lawnmowers. I mean, that's just, if you Google it, it's horrible. The results are horrible, but it's like, it's little accidents. Like one dad was backing up the lawn, had his headphones on, and the daughter was out by the pool, and the mother was watching the daughter. The daughter went around to see her daddy and went around the back, and he's backing up his driveway, blowing off the leaves, backs up on the grass, and she's behind him going, "Daddy," boom, boom, runs over her. There was a nurse there that helped him, and it's just, the stories are ridiculous. I got a kid that was, you know, the poor dad was, he went on the tractor with his dad every day, all the time. They owned a ton of land, and he let him off, and this time he got off on the other side. So his foot's on the clutch, lets him off, jumps. Now, this is a bush hog. You know what a bush hog is?
No.
It's the tractor, the big tractor, John
Okay.
Deere tractors that pull this bush hog, and as it's going, it blades are going.
Oh,
So he literally dropped this kid off, foot fell off the clutch, jumped over the kid, running over the kid on his legs, has to back up over him now because if he would have went straight, he would have been in pieces. So, I mean, that kid's like a friggin' the number one four-wheel driver in Florida. The kid's just a stud. This is probably like, I think he's been with me probably 7 years now, 7 years, 6, 7 years. But yeah, it's the stories are crazy. It's the number one reason for kids under 10.
it just boggles my mind.
And then it goes, it's kids under, from that, and then it's birth defects, and then bone cancer.
Wow.
But you would think,
Yeah.
everybody's thinking cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
don't
It's
think
ironically.
of, because everybody cuts their grass. I mean, it's just one of those things that, and as you say, you know, I remember Dorian riding on the fender of Phil O'Brien when he was cutting the brush on the side of the road. And as you tell this story, I'm going, oh my God, how did
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like nobody gets up in the morning and go, "Oh God, I
Right.
hope I ruin my kid's life forever."
Right, of course.
God, I
of
want to see my
course.
kid in a prosthetic. Well, I hope I chop half
Right.
his foot off. Nobody's saying that, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's always, it's the dumbest accidents in the world. You know what I mean? There's one kid from Ohio. His kid reached down for the ball, and fell, and his father was backing up close to the friggin' thing and ran him over. It's always the stupidest things. You're going, well, that could have been prevented, or that
Sure,
could have been prevented.
sure.
But I mean, most of them are just
well, there, but for the grace
like
of
that.
God,
Yeah,
Right.
go
Yeah.
any of us.
yeah.
It's
You just
Now, and you said another thing earlier on that registered with me on feet,
And you got 2 minutes.
and that they should cut more off, which sounds horrible.
yeah.
You know, as a parent or as an individual, like when they say to you, I'm gonna cut your foot off, but don't worry, I'm gonna save.
Watch this.
Don't save.
Watch this. Let me show you. I got 2
right, here
minutes.
we go.
Oh God, here we go. Show and tell.
Hold on.
Oh my.
So here. So this is. So your ankle would be here, right?
You thought it was gonna be easy, John?
So look at
It's a
your
little
ankle.
early in the morning for this.
Your
Steve.
ankle. I'm taking it off already. So your ankle's here.
Yeah.
So how do you put, like, this thing here's got a spring in it? So how would I put this? What I need to be?
I see.
So you want to be like, here's my, well, obviously here's my knee, but you want to be cut off at least to here. So that would be like 6 inches above your ankle, 5 to 6 inches above your ankle to get a good prosthetic where your foot's in, your knee's in it, and you have support. And you know, other than that, it's just, you don't have to go.
And the same thing on your knee, right? Like you need a certain.
No, because nowadays it's honestly like, and this thing is just like, so there's a
it's
one
really
way
just the
there's a
ankle
one way
that you
valve
have
in
to
this
cover.
thing. So all I do
Oh,
is this.
folks.
I'm putting my clothes back on. Sorry, guys.
Slowly.
But I just want to show you because talking about it doesn't give you the same effect.
No, it certainly doesn't.
Let me just show you what it looks like. But that's why a lot of the hospitals and all the doctors want to save more, which I get. You're doing,
I understand.
But prosthetic-wise, you're not helping them at all.
It's just a different.
Look, I screwed Miss Bown all up for the day now. She's like, he took his leg off, and here we are.
Aren't you glad I brought a friend today? Aren't you glad? Surprise!
Wonderful reunion.
As soon as I see it, I go, oh, God. Thank God. I'm thinking in my head, thank God I was always good to Miss Bown. Thank God I was good to Miss Bown.
Steve, I've heard a lot about you through people in Tingsboro and amazing things, and always, always very, very good.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
We're going to be right back. No, we're going to behave. Good morning. Welcome back to City Life. Welcome to the new people watching that are just tuning in now. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host. I'm having a wonderful morning. I want to thank Beth Craig so much. She brought a guest, Steve Chamberlain, that I have not seen for many years, and it was a rude awakening when when I walked in the door this morning. And of course, I have Hillari, that is our former select woman, former school committee, Wennerstrom, and
I saw the light of day and got out.
That's right. That's right. Don't we all?
Now she can really speak her mind.
Exactly.
Sort of. Well,
not really, I guess.
Yeah.
But Beth, I asked her to come in because of the Boston Marathon, and when is that being run?
Monday. It'll be Monday. I believe what I thought I saw was, it's probably the 128th Boston Marathon, but it's the 250th anniversary of Patriot Day. I thought I saw something like that.
Yeah, the 250, yes.
Okay.
My birthday is
weekend.
Patriots Day, by the way.
Over the weekend, Concord and Lexington are having big celebrations.
So it'll be a lot of hoopla down there this year. I'll be at the top of Heartbreak. We hand out pickle juice to runners.
Why?
And, well, the story goes, because I reached out to my Team Hoyt San Diego friends, is our chapters would come out every year, meet Dick and Rick, and they'd have a fun time of spirits and shenanigans. And one of them was a bit tired hungover the next day, and went to, the store, got some pickle juice, had read somewhere that the salt and stuff would make him feel better. And so we had this jar of pickles at the aid station, our little water station at the top of Heartbreak. And didn't this runner come through? And they were like, we have Coke, we have chips, we have pretzels, and I have this jar of pickle juice. And the guy was like, I want the pickle juice. And he ended up finishing the race. So now every year, now we have people that dress up in pickle
I love those
suits.
stories.
I know. So we have a couple of mascots wearing pickle costumes, and we hand out a lot of pickle juice and pickles and all kinds of other stuff to anything you could think of that
Hopefully
are
there's a
runner
Coors Light station along the way.
No,
Well,
that's the thing.
allegedly, maybe we'll have some of that for you when you come up the hill, so.
But Beth has run the Boston Marathon, not just run the marathon, pushing her mother.
I did push my
Babs,
mom.
everybody knows, and Babs, she said, made an announcement this morning that Babs may be coming back.
She may be coming back. She wants to run Falmouth again. It is sort of the 7-mile Boston Marathon. I don't know if anybody's been down to Falmouth for the road race, but if you ever have a chance to do it, Steve, you should do it. It will just fill your heart with so much joy because, and also, right, I'm a Team Hoyt, so when they see my mom come through, the crowd just goes crazy for her, per
She's gonna
usual.
love that. That's gonna make
She
her-
loves it. She loves it. There
Oh, there's
that's-
Beth Singleton right
there we
there.
are on the race course, so she wants to get back there. We have to sleep over, so she enjoys a little bit of time outside her nursing facility. But also,
She was the best woman in the world. Like our teacher, we'd get in trouble like late for school, and I'd be like, Beth Singleton, I did it again. She'd be like, here's a pass, go ahead. You're okay, just go see it.
a lot of the students, similar to Steve, did love my mother because she would just give them a pass and send them up the back
You can
stairs.
stay until tomorrow, but I know you have to go.
I do have to go to work. I just want to tell one story about,
Your time, kiddo, it's your
I
job.
do have to get to work. Don't tell anybody I'm running late today.
It's a good cause.
She's retiring at 60.
Can I write you a
She
note?
can't.
Can I write you a
Write
note?
me a note.
Go see Beth Singleton. Go see your mom.
Babsy will write me a note. So this year, I met a family through my school who has epilepsy, and one night I just opened up my Facebook, and the foundation was offering a bib. So I'm thinking, why am I seeing this right now? So I reached out and I said, is there any chance it could be a duo bib, which is different. I'm going to race with my mom. And so she reached out to the woman, it's probably similar to who
Yep.
you have, like the coordinator, and it wasn't a duo bib. So I wasn't able to grab that bib for me and my mom, but then I thought, well, why can't I look into the duo? This is for the New York City Marathon. And so I filled out the application. All you have to do, it's a little bit different than Boston. You fill out the application and you send in a picture of a race chair. So I think I sent in that exact picture. And so they approved the application and then they approved the race chair. And then I'll know in July if Babsy and I are going to get picked for a bib for the New York Marathon, which we've never done before. And we will still do a little bit of fundraising for the Epilepsy Foundation. So when I called my mom, I said, how do you feel about New York in the fall? Because
Ooh.
it's a November race, which is great
Yeah.
for her. It won't be hot because the MS does not like the heat. And she said, get me out of here. I'm like, that sounds like a yes to me. So I filled out the application.
She's wearing a Red Sox hat. It's giving me a better story.
Yeah.
She'll be all Red Sox
Honest
out.
to goodness, she's a little bit sassy and feisty these days. So hopefully Falmouth will get chosen because it's a lottery. They only allow X amount of duos on the course. And then we're looking forward to hearing about New York. So it'll be a fun summer
Well,
training
keep
with
me
us.
awesome.
informed, please.
I
'cause
will,
I'm-
I
You have
will.
to run without your mom, Beth.
I have run without my mom. I don't prefer to do it.
I was gonna say to you,
I
it's gonna
honestly,
be-
Like that, because that running
'Cause
with
it's
your
more for
mom is
her.
a lot of.
But I'll
lot
tell
more
you-
on you.
yes, but I run different, so it's more of a push forward, so
Yeah.
my hamstrings and my calves are doing a lot more of the work. So when I'm running without her, I honestly don't know what to do with my hands. I run slower, I'm clumsy, so
That's funny.
I know, it's very wild,
Who's that drunk lady? Oh, no, she's usually,
that's just Beth without her mother.
she's usually pushing her mother. Don't worry about it.
Right,
She's running
right.
sideways.
Yes, I do have a hard time, and we've been racing for 10 years now, so it's been
That's
like
amazing.
great.
That's awesome.
And I've just appreciated, the support from me. I mean, I've been absentee in so many of my friends' lives, but they see what I'm doing with my mom, and I wouldn't change it
You
for
ain't
the
never gonna-
world.
yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
So
The twists life takes, huh?
Right. I wouldn't change it. There's no regrets for
No.
it, and I'm going to keep doing it as long
Bless.
as she wants to keep doing it. Because every day, this side of the grass. So I'm very
Amen.
blessed to continue to do these things with her. So.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you having me on to talk about the marathon. I wish
Oh.
everyone good luck on Monday, a nice, safe, I think the weather's going to be great. It's going to be
It's
a good
supposed to be,
weather
right?
day, I think, and I'll be waiting for Steve at the top of
So you will be there.
I'll be there at the top
Yeah, I'm
of all
gonna
of my
talk to him
teamwork
after you
friends.
leave.
You don't see her going, I go, what the hell? Somebody's having a heart attack up there. I thought I had it bad.
I get excited when I see my people come up the top of that hill because,
Yeah.
they still have a 10K left to go. They still have the 6.2
That's incredible.
miles left to go. So it's still a struggle to the
It
end.
is,
Steve and I
it
were
is.
talking about it. You see that
It
Sitco
is.
sign and you think you're close and you're not.
That's why I
You're
said
not
there. I
close.
go all the time. We were going to the Boston games. You're like, oh, this is a Sicko sign. We're close. When you're walking, I go, there's a Sicko sign. I'm like, I'm almost there. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank God I made it. Every mile,
Still.
I kept saying to myself, I'm like, you know what it was for me, like mile 17. I didn't know what it was, and that's about a Heartbreak Hill.
Right at the Newton
Right.
Fire Station.
So I'm there and I'm going, what mile are we at? They go, 17. I'm like, because they took all the marks down. All the mile marks are down because
I've been there.
Because I'm so fast. It must have flew off. But I was at 17. I'm going, what the heck mile are we at? And you don't know. So that's the only thing that I hate. I wish it had it up there for a little longer because you
Right.
get every mile you're going,
It's
where am I
humbling.
at?
It's
Where am I
humbling.
at? And all you're doing is following the cops.
Who are taking down the fence.
Yeah, and then all the freaking, and then you get down to BC, pressing buttons across the street. I'm like, and every time you stand in there, you cramp. My body's
Oh, yeah.
just stopped, and I'm like,
But
And
you
then-
finished.
yeah.
26 miles is not.
26.2, ma'am.
And it's the
forget
two
that
that gets you.
point, too.
I don't even
The
care.
point, too.
Everybody always says it's the last
It
two tenths
is.
of the mile.
When I get on the main road, I'm going, oh yeah, and then you're like, what? And then I stopped. On the video you seen, right? I stopped. Here's the finish line right here. I stopped here, and the lady goes, all right. I bend over to put the thing on. She goes, no, you got to keep coming. I'm like, I can't. I couldn't move my legs. I can't move. I was done. And then I just I think somebody pushed me, and then
Sounds about
and they
right.
had the golf cart right here. I get in the golf cart, and the guy, I was going to see my team and have a couple of beers. I got in the thing, shot a video thanking everybody, went inside the bar of the hotel, grabbed the beer, had a sip, and I go, I gotta go. I literally couldn't move. I couldn't. I went upstairs, took my leg off, laid in bed, and I couldn't even make it to the. I ain't telling you what I had to do, but I had to literally pee in a bucket.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I could not move. I couldn't, and every time I got up, my legs just cramped up. It was.
That's marathon racing. That's
Yeah.
what it is. You're peeing
Yeah.
weird places,
Yeah.
you're doing weird things.
Well, I know you have to be a different type of person because I used to watch out and your feet bleed and it's.
Oh, the girl that ran with me. This is the best. She's got no toenails still. She's missing Samantha, missing 3 toenails still.
Yes.
So she sent me this thing. She's like, she sent me a picture last night. She was soaking her toes. I can't believe I'm doing this again. I got to be the dumbest person in the world. And then she was, I don't know. She bought these fake nails. I don't know what they're just like a prosthetic nail. I don't know what the heck it is. It's just, you got to have pretty nails, I guess. I don't know. I only got 5 and nothing happened to them.
Yes, you lucked
After
out to
running
lose your
26
toenails.
miles.
I got 5 toenails and they stayed perfect.
A lucky duck.
Thank God I only have 5.
Lucky duck.
But it is humbling though.
It's humbling.
It's the whole time. I remember praying every mile. I'm like, come on, God, one more. I swear to God, it was every mile. Just at mile 6, I had a breakdown. I started crying. I couldn't do it. One of my kids sent me a video. Don't let us down, Uncle Steve. Don't let us down. And I'm like, I said, I hate kids now. Never get a late for me, you little craphead.
Right.
But you keep going, and then it's
going.
all in your head. It's a total mind thing. I don't think it's nothing but that. But the runners run. That's a big difference in what I'm doing. I'm walking, so it's not even close to what
Yeah,
these
but
poor
you're
guys
walking
do.
with one leg.
Yeah.
We just make it, we've already seen that this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, we've seen the link.
You never know when I take off a day. Yeah, whatever. Keep this video going, buddy. Don't you worry. I'll get you thrown right out of here.
I'm going to say goodbye. I have to actually go be a
Beth,
teacher.
thank you so very
thanks.
much.
It's so good to see you.
Good luck.
That was
Have a
surprise.
wonderful day.
Have a
Marathon
great
Monday.
day, and I'll see you
Love you.
the top of
Yeah, I love you, kid.
I'll see you.
Oh, she is. She,
Oh, that's-
welcome back to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host. I have Steve Chamberlain here, and of course Hillari Wennerstrom. He's in between two women.
Two
He's gonna
beautiful
have-
women.
I was going
He's
to say
gonna
the
have to
rose between two thorns.
Yes,
Really.
yes. Yes, but Steve is here. We were talking about the Boston Marathon is Monday, and
Are you walking again this year?
I am, yeah. Well, me and my big mouth, like last year we raised so much money, I'm like, I'll beat that. So
How
I-
close are you? Have you beat it already?
No, I didn't beat it already. You say it goes.
you never know. It's not Monday
hey.
yet.
That's why we're trying to say, hey,
But you know
how
what we
much
did
more do you
though?
need?
So here's what we did though. You know what we did last year? When I was every mile, I did a little, I was like, all right, we're at mile 1, saying nothing. Get to mile 6, I'm like, well, this ain't fun no more. The first 4 miles, I was like, hey, this ain't that bad. Everybody's cheering you on, but in your head, you're like, I don't know. Then at mile 6, I had a little bit of a breakdown just because I was just like, I don't think I could finish. And then, what happened? That year I got rhabdo. You know what rhabdo is?
No.
Your protein eats your muscles, and I was in the hospital for 10 days.
Oh my goodness!
So I couldn't train for the last month of the marathon, before the marathon. So I was like, my doctor had made me sign a piece of paper that I wouldn't do the marathon and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah,
Oh
right.
boy!
Yeah, like, I'll tell the BAA that I can't do this because I have rhabdo. But I did it, and I didn't train. I didn't train for the whole month before. So it was a little bit, it was like, but again, I'm walking it. I'm not running it. It took me 9 hours, 44 minutes, and 33 seconds. But I raised 530,000, so
There you go.
That's a.
I'll take
So
12
folks,
hours
let's
raising
see if
money.
we can top that out there.
Yeah, it's like-
It's all for a good cause.
Now
If
it's on.
you just tuned in, Steve does 50 legs. He gets prosthetic legs for people, mostly children.
Children and veterans.
soft
what we
spot.
started for.
And he's got a billion stories here, but it's, you hear about when a child, and his big concern is that a child should be able to live a normal life.
Yeah, it's the biggest. Is like, like little Johnny. Everybody wants to play a little Johnny, and like these prosthetic companies and the insurance companies don't get these kids their running blades or the right what they need to run. and they just give them the regular walking legs, which they can run with those, but it's not the same. You don't have that spring like you do when you cast, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like, I make sure all the kids we get legs for get running blades. 99.9% of them get them. Some of them don't like them. Most kids want to wear them all the time because they're springy.
Yeah?
So yeah, it's like a big spring. It's like they'll be jumping around like a pogo stick. Like that little kid, yeah. But it's. I mean, every kid should be able to be a kid, you know.
Right.
Well, you've talked, though, this morning, and things that the people, I think everybody should know, that they come to you and you have them up walking.
Oh yeah.
Now, what happens? That people contact you.
Yep.
How does this work?
So there's a website on 50legs.org, and there's a application for assistance. Most of the people reach out to me through Facebook, and somebody knows me or heard of 50 Legs, and they'll reach out. Oh, I know him. Like one of the kids that we just helped from North Carolina. The kid was still in the hospital. His father just didn't know where to turn. You know, we just watched his kid crash his motorcycle and lose his leg right there with him. So his father turned around, you know, picks his kid's leg up and wraps it up and trying to save it, knowing it was going to go. And because the kid's like, as soon as he said what he said, I knew it was gone. He said, all he did is felt burning. And that's what I did. My leg got ripped. My leg was gone. My leg was ripped right off at the scene. So all I felt was burning. It just feels like somebody's holding you, like your finger on top of the oven, and you can't move. And you're just, it was horrible. And so the kid's father from North Carolina was in the hospital, and their best friend's son knew me. And he's like, you gotta reach out to my buddy Steve Chamberlain, and Scott Soroyce, and this other lady knew me. They reached out to me, and I talked to the guy, and he was like, he's got a great interview. I'll forward you when we're off the air. I'll forward you the message that he sent to us. It was, and then this weekend he spoke about his accident, and he called me on the way home last weekend, and he was crying. He said to me, he's like, thanks, Steve. I said, for what? He goes, man, I have closure now. He goes, I feel so much better getting it off my chest and explaining to people. I need people coming up to me, and people get what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? So it was like, a lot of people don't want to tell their story, but I think the sooner you get it out,
Yeah.
Oh, you always have to tell your story.
the more it's off your
Yes.
chest. I don't know if that's for everybody.
Yeah,
but-
no. I
Oh,
think
no, it
that-
is.
and
But
and
your experience losing your husband and stuff,
Yeah.
was it better to get it
yes,
out?
and I
or-
think I often say to my kids, they're 25 and 22 now, like anything you go through, like even if you're just talking out loud
Mm-hmm.
to yourself, like release it from your body. If you keep it in and you never just get it out, then it stays in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just
Eats you
eats
alive.
So even if you're talking just to yourself in the car, I said, you know how many times I just talk to myself in the car, because that's the way I just release it. Let it go.
I started answering myself, so I stopped that.
I have full
I can't
conversations.
do it no more. People are like, who are you talking to? Nobody, just me.
So you started, after you lost your leg, you started with the goal of 50 legs. That's how this came about.
Yes, listen, you never know, but you know, the more you're around charities and you hear how charities run and what goes on with charities, it's like, what do they say, after 4 years, after 5 years, your charity is usually, it's usually successful. I guess that's what it is, right? Or you have a better chance of keeping it going.
Yeah.
I remember the first couple of years, I mean, we raised 50, 60,000, helped, 3 to 5 people. You just don't know. But then once I got involved with POA and Sam Patterson and realized how much we could help people, I started really, asking for money and just doing a lot more fundraisers. I mean, we used to do 30, 40 fundraisers a year just to raise money. And it was the motorcycle community that was like the most giving people in the world. They, I'm still tight with all of them, and we help a lot of kids. I mean, last year I think it was like 22 from motorcycle accidents that lost their legs.
How many legs have you?
Over 8,000.
Wow.
Yep.
That-
We
all
bought
those
over
lives.
8,000 prosthetics.
Now, and when you say 8,000, now, they're not sitting in a corner. The prosthetic is not sitting in
No.
the corner.
And the good thing about the company that I use, so all these kids that get running blades for, when they grow out of them, which is probably a couple of years, we use them for the next kids that age.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
So it's not like we're throwing.
I
Yeah,
play it against
no,
sports.
Yeah, exactly. It's until they're no good. But usually the younger kids, they're not heavy enough or springy enough to really break them in yet. So they could last 6 years.
Okay.
So we'll just give the kid new leg. All we do is make them a new socket. Make the liner and the socket the same as the walking foot, and then he has two sockets, 2 legs to go home with.
You say that it rolls off your tongue like it's just the most normal thing in the whole world.
Well, it is now after 14 years.
Yeah,
Say,
you know.
like a lot of things, it just takes a while to normalize.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Normalize saying it and normalize those kids. When you said those kids just want to have a normal life,
Yeah.
that's what you want for them, right?
Yeah.
That's your goal.
So
When
you know-
when they say it to you, it's kind of weird. Like you don't expect kids to say what they say. Like I used to love that show, Kids Say the Darndest Things. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do.
Yeah.
Like I'm around it a lot, and I'll get kids
It's
say
refreshing.
it is. It's just like, you know what? That's and it humblizes me to be like, that's why I started the charity right there. That kid just said what he said, and so I'm special to this kid. He's more special to me.
Yeah.
And then seeing them grow is where it's like I'm tearing up like a baby. But seeing them grow where they're at now is it's life changing for me. Because I, when I start, there's little Jules. She sends me videos all the time. She FaceTimes me all the time. She's a soccer guru. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
my
little
goodness.
Jules. Yep, little Jules. There she is again. It's so funny seeing the kids. That kid's story is amazing. He got in a motorcycle accident. He got smushed between 2 cars. And he was dying. He was dying, and he was telling his story. He FaceTiming messaging his family saying goodbye to him. I love you. And then he ended up living, and it was like, yeah, it was crazy.
And then
Yeah.
you find them.
They found us. Yep.
And so those running blades, they're waterproof. You said people can swim with them?
Yeah. We get
We
it.
don't
Well,
think
you know what it
about
is. What we do for the older people.
They
like
can
the
surf
people-
with them too.
Yeah. That's so.
Look at this.
You want to hear the craziest story? Celeste Corker, one of the Boston survivors, her daughter got blown up also, and she almost died. She got blown up her legs inside here, and the Marine saved her. But this Celeste, that girl on the right, she's a fireman.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, she's amazing.
How'd you
Amanda.
get Hulk Hogan?
He's one of my good friends from wrestling. I know him. I've known him from wrestling.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's one of my good close friends actually.
Met him for a fraction of a second. Nice guy.
Nicest guy in the world. Yep. There's little Jules. It's, and the stories are just amazing. Like when she came to us, here's a cool Cinderella story with her. When she came to us, she was 10 months old. So when I got her first legs, we helped the family flight, hotels, and bought her legs. The father was in school to be a doctor, and the mother was a teacher, but she would stay at home because they were having another kid. They had another kid, and now the father is a doctor and donates back to 50 Legs and don't get our help.
That's
no
awesome.
more. But they still save 50 Legs with us because if they need something like a running blade or something like that, we'll just get it. We get them so good now, But yeah, the family stories are just
And how old is
amazing.
Jules now?
9.
Wow.
But she speaks so well. See, like that foot right there? See, that's a rock climbing leg. So we buy that for the rock climbing guys and girls.
Wow. See, I'm
She's a
always
star.
amazed when I see.
Those are the blades that I talk about right there. All 3 of those girls right there are all mine. I help all those 3 girls. There was 4. There's another little one, I think, in there too. But those 3 right there, they've been with me for a while.
So they don't do the blade all the time?
Well, they don't wear them all the time.
Okay.
Because it messes up. The older they are, it messes up their hips more because it's so springy,
Yeah.
and it sinks down instead of being like the same height as your hips. Your hips would definitely be a lot different.
Yeah, okay.
That's the marathon.
So you'll be back at the marathon.
Yep.
Walking.
Yep.
Just the idea of you walking the marathon.
I know, I walk on my treadmill and I can only do a half an hour, 45 minutes, and I don't go that far. So I can,
But you know what it is, though?
that last 2 minutes, I'm like, oh, I'm all done. I
Yeah.
gotta get up. So I
You know what it
give
is?
myself credit.
But I know what you do. Like you're doing what I do. Like in your mind, see that girl right there? She was just on Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
She was just on Naked and Afraid. And 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 she was just on Naked and
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was the first double amputee on Naked and Afraid. Yep. Yep, we get her legs. And now she took her legs out. She's on stubbies. The little,
Now, how
Sure.
long do we call these stubbies?
yeah, see the ones on the right, on the left, I mean?
Yeah,
Those two girls took their prosthetics off.
so that's just for
It just,
for the picture.
no, they usually wear, it's because when they're in the crowds, they want to be pushed around because they got knees that will collapse.
Okay,
So those are just stubbies. They really don't, she should never fall on those.
okay, and then they put the rest of the leg on later on?
Yeah,
Okay, I never knew that.
yeah, she has, well, those are different legs. She probably has like four. That kid there in a motorcycle accident, the one on the left's a birth defect. Cancer.
Beautiful
The
girls.
girl on the far right died. She just passed away.
Oh.
Yep. There's Celeste. Carmen.
Now, do they use your legs as well?
Celeste just went back there and got see, so some of the kids have events for us. So this picture here is from Katie Eddington. She's in Kentucky, obviously that beautiful land and back. But she does Katie's ride every year and raises probably like 25, 30 grand a year for us.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of our kids do cool things. Like I got one coming up. Oh shoot, I gotta do a commercial. Now that I said that, coming up in May. So like I go home after the marathon. I go home and then I come back down in a couple of weeks for a wedding, and then I come home. And then I go to the next week and I go away for another ride, and then the summer's here, and then we just boom, 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 bunch of charity events, a couple golf, 3-4 golf tournaments. Mickey Ward does an event for me. I come to this golf tournament, and he does the Boston comic show. You guys, if you ever, I gotta send you video. You guys gotta come to that. That sells out in 5 minutes
Yeah.
because it's a little small venue, and it's like it's fun. It's like
Well-
Mickey comes and talks. He's another great kid.
He's another great kid.
The greatest, man. Yeah, that kid, every time I call him, I'll send him videos of the kids. I said, this is what you did. He goes, Stevie, thank you so much. I love you. He's just a good guy, man. You know, got his head beat in, brains in all these years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm just glad he made money at the end. You know what I mean? Because those boxes, they beat their bodies up and broke or no money. But Mickey
Well,
does so
wrestlers
much.
don't, though, right?
Nah, because our stuff's phony, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I mean, well, you get concussed, I'm sure, now and then, but I mean, it's more of a dance than, like MMA, that's a whole different breed, right there. Josiah, that kid's got autism, and he sees me, first thing he does is want money. But you just see their stories, you know what I mean? It's just, it's.
Well, again, I'm very proud of the people, and like, I have had the good fortune of knowing Tyler Gassi.
Yeah.
And there's another one that, with
Yeah.
autism, that he just took the bronze in skiing for representing the United
She's
States.
from New Hampshire. She had cancer.
Really?
Yeah, Olivia. She had cancer. She's an amazing kid.
Just incredible story. It touches you.
Yeah.
And I just, knowing you and knowing your history.
He's a Tings Road kid right there, the guy Jeff.
Oh,
He just called me yesterday. He's getting a couple toes removed. That guy Robert. He's a cop from Youngstown, Ohio. He raises about 40 grand a year for me. He does a softball tournament in Youngstown and has I don't even know, 40 teams,
Wow.
or 50, 60, no, 60 teams of all girls softball.
Oh, wow.
And we have the best weekend with these girls, man. They're just they're from young to 20-year-olds.
Wow.
And we just have a fun time. The girls are so funny, man. They go hustle for us, asking everybody for money, sell raffle tickets.
well.
They
you
bring one of my
give
girls with them. They're like, you don't want to give the girl legs? That's real nice. These girls are so forward. The ones he's got on his team, they're like, oh God, they collected. I think they did $2,800 in 2 hours one day.
Wow.
Well, if you know where the money's going, it's not hard to raise it sometimes because it's going to a good.
What's the
cause.
results you want to see? I want to see if I'm giving you $20, I want to see where it's going.
Right, that's
I don't want to give it to a cure where I don't there's everybody does it for that.
Yeah.
Everybody. They got more money than they know what to do with. But we're like we just talked about earlier. Like if I said to you right now, I said, "Oh, you see that little dog right there?" You'd all go, "Oh," because it doesn't have, like it's sad the way Americans are. We're just spoiled people that just got what we got, and like we were just talking about this the other day. Like everybody wants more than they got. Everybody.
Yep.
There's not one day somebody will say, "Oh, I wish I had more money to buy that. I wish I had more money to do this." We all say it. I mean, we're all guilty of it. But like for the kids, I mean, I hope to God nobody on this that can see this or hear this ever need my help. I hope to God. But if you do, I'm here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's more people that reach out to me now. Just they'll call and they'll be like, "Hey, Steve, did you see this?" I'm like, "No." And I'll see this horrific accident. Girl lost her leg locally here. And they'll call me and I'm like, "Yeah, of course, give her my number." And they're like, "Well, we don't know her." I'm like, "Well, if you reach out to her," and then within somebody will reach out to us, no matter where it is in the country. It's crazy. It's like I never thought it'd be like that. You know what I mean? Honestly, but that's why we're doing the marathon again, and hopefully make our goal. But I mean, if I don't, listen.
Well, anybody that's out there, he wants to top 500,000.
5:30.
5:30. And he's running the marathon. It's all for a wonderful, wonderful cause. It's getting artificial legs for people. It's just an amazing story. Happen to lose your leg in a motorcycle accident and be where you are, and you thank God every day.
If you wouldn't ask me that,
If anyone in town would have asked,
been like, "Oh, he lost his leg," they'd be like, "He didn't die." Should be going to his funeral, not his celebration. But I look at it. That was my celebration of life that day. Honestly, that's what changed me to who I am today. And it's like there's not a day that I'm not proud of myself just for like growing up the way I did and who I was and where I was going to who I am today. It's night and day. You know what I mean? Like I was thankful my mother got to see me as a good guy for the last couple years of her life. You know what I mean? My father never got to see this goodness. He always, it's my dad, so of course he always loved me. But I mean, he never seen the good that I'm doing now, which breaks my heart. You know what I mean? I wish you got to see just like watch one of these
he's
kids.
Watching.
No, I know, but of course I believe in God. So you know what I mean? I like to be there and just say, "Oh man." Like my Uncle Paul comes to see my mom's, it was ironic because like I was at lunch with my uncle. Every Thursday they go up to the Pheasant Lake Mall and what's that little bar there when you walk in?
Burton's?
No.
No. The wings,
right next to the casino.
Wings place?
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. So every Thursday, there's like 7, 8 old guys that are in their 80s, 70s, high 70s, low 80s. They go there and have a beer. And I go there when I'm home, and I'll go have a beer with them, and like I'll pay the tab. And I tip the guy, and the guy goes, "You sure?" I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, that's more tip than they give me for the whole year." And they all got money. They're all loaded. Every one of them's loaded. I go, "You cheap suckers, man. God bless."
Now, where do you call home now?
Well, this will always be home. I mean, Lowell area is home to me, but I live in Florida now, and I just love it. I do. I love the wet. I love the sweat. I'd rather be hot than cold. But
that's where you bring, if somebody loses a leg, if you get a call.
I fly everybody to Orlando.
You fly everybody
Orlando,
to
Florida.
Orlando.
Yep, I do. But we have an office in North Carolina that's good. They're small. But, I mean, for the first leg, I always tell people to come to POA Orlando because we get them done in 4 days.
4 days.
Well, it's usually
A life-altering event, and then in 4 days.
It's crazy. Like we have a girl that was at this big company, one of the biggest companies in the country, Hanger, and they told, "Oops, that's a company I don't like," but that's the company. So they're the company, anyways. Long story short is,
If we could stay away from the names, that'd be
yeah,
good.
I know. That's why I just said it. Yeah. So, anyways, this big company, I helped this girl, and the girl is actually. I'm good friends with her dad and stepmom, Vinny, and Carol Ann, and he's a fireman from New York City, disabled fireman from New York City, and his wife's a 23-year Air Force veteran, and their daughter got bacterial meningitis. Wow. And lost both hands, both legs above her knees. And that company told her she'll never be able to do this, and this, and never be able to walk. So she was with the company for four months or something, and she never got fitted right. She came to the prosthetic company in Orlando, and she was walking in 5-7 days, both legs. But now she's a spokesperson for that company, and she's such a good kid, but yeah, they told her to take the videos down that she made because they were true, and she was like, you're going to give people false hope. I mean, like, imagine saying that to a kid. Like, don't talk about what you did so good,
Right.
but we don't want people to believe there's hope like that because we don't want to lose the business. That's basically what they're saying. Don't talk about what you did out there because that ruins my business, and it should. You want people. You're in the prosthetic world. You want to get somebody to walk. You don't want to say, well, we're just going to give you legs to stand up. That don't make no sense.
No, see, that's just, but
That's when the money that we talk about money.
Yeah, that's the insurance, and I don't know, yeah, you never know, Steve, some stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Well,
You
hopefully
know,
the
you
next
just make a little
generation,
kink in that.
like you, when you enter the nursing home, if
Yeah.
you ever do, or, your leg isn't going to be sitting in the
Yeah,
corner
oh,
that
no,
you see. You're
no.
going to have it on and going, and that's what you're hoping, right? That you're raising this next generation of people that are going to have.
That's what it is. It's more like we got a thing coming out. I can tell you guys about it actually. So I got a YouTube channel coming out, and it's gonna be awesome because it's what it's gonna be is I'm gonna get an RV, wrap it, and I'm gonna travel the country and go see all the kids that I get legs for and all the grown-ups that I get legs for and spend a couple days with each of them just to show people what amputees go through on a daily life basis. Because nobody really knows. Like, you don't know. Like, I got a kid in Colorado that's a world champion skier with no legs, and stuff like that. So I want people to realize that life's not over after amputation, and maybe get more people that don't have the good legs, let them see what it's like to have a good leg, and maybe they'll go to another prosthetic company and try somewhere else, because when you're in the hospital, you're lost.
Well, of course you are.
You know, when
Steve,
you're
I would just suggest that as you travel around, familiarize yourself with Facebook Live,
yeah,
because Facebook Live, the old dolls that I know are scrolling through Facebook all day long.
yeah,
And so if you go into a town, everybody's grandmother wants to see you. If you go Facebook Live, everybody's grandmother will follow you.
yeah.
So familiarize yourself with a thing called Facebook, create your own page, and then do Facebook Live, and you'll get thousands of people watching you live.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I
I hope
want to
that's
do.
what you get.
YouTube does not have YouTube's great, and we use YouTube, but we'll get like 500 views of this show on Facebook and 57 on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So familiarize yourself with
Well, the only thing good about my deal is, I got Hulk, so that's got 10 million
Boy,
followers.
that's right.
That'll push it. You know what I mean? That's the only thing blessed for my end of that is.
That's good.
That's the only thing. That's.
Just consider it, whatever you want.
No. I'm
Well,
gonna do
I
both.
think what you're doing, if
Yeah.
you're reaching out and you're going across country, I mean, you say, well, we're never going to break the barrier there, but you never know, because as people, and she talks about a new generation.
Yeah.
And just the fact, Steve, you're Steve Chamberlain from Tingsboro.
Yeah.
You're in Florida. You have people all over the country.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All over that know, if they see something like in Lowell, it's because we're all familiar with it, but they're in Ohio or they're in North Carolina, and they say, I know someone that knows Steve Chamberlain.
Yeah. It is
Nobody
funny. I see it a lot.
It just gets better and better,
Yeah,
though.
one of my friends he was in, I forget what country he went, he had a 50 leg shirt on, and he goes, that guy helped one of my aunts out or something like that. I'm like, what? Guy was telling me the story. It's kind of, we took a picture of him.
Yes, you never know.
But it's just, that's why I'm glad who I am today, because back then, you'd be like, Steve Chamberlain's coming, they're like, he's going to get in a fight, he's going to do something really stupid. Watch. So now it's kind of funny when I go out and people are like, hey, come check us out, come over to my bar, or come on, hey, you want to go to dinner? I'm like, yeah. Now they know that I'm,
You're not going to break it out.
No, God, no. I'll never fight again. I'll walk away. I'm a lover now, man. I really do. I love everything. Life's so good. It's funny waking up on that, when you're growing up, when I grew up, I was like, you want to be a tough guy. It got you nowhere.
Yeah.
It got me a record. It got me salt batteries. You know what I mean? It got me absolutely nowhere. Now I look at it like I got so many damn friends. Like, I would hate not to be able to call somebody and say, hey, you want to go have lunch today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
think how many friends you got now from being nice.
That's
And
right.
it's easy.
Well,
Did you wrestle again?
Oh, I wrestled with WWE in 2022. Yeah, I got hired with a fake leg. So here's what happened. Here's when I went through my depression. Nobody even knows this story. So I got hired with WWE in 2002. I got hired with WWE. So my contract was pretty good, and then I got paid. It was a 3-year contract. So I called Peter Kuchar that was making my legs at the time. I'm like, man, I made it. I can't believe it. All this hard work paid off. So 6 days later, I get a call from Ace, Johnny Laurinaitis, the guy that hires developmental people, right? He calls me. He's like, hey, how'd you like to come work for WWE? No, the first day he called me. He called me 6 days later. And he goes, hey, we hired the wrong guy. So they hired another one-legged guy instead of me. So they hired me, and they were supposed to hire this kid, Zach Gowen. He was 135 pounds. I weighed 295, jacked up. I was so big and in shape. And I could do everything on the ropes and off the rope. I could do everything everybody was doing on TV, everything. And you wouldn't know I had a fake leg, though, at the time, you know? So they called me and fired me, and they said, stay in shape. We're going to use you. We're just going to see what this thing runs. So that kid got hired. Has a little bit of a run, and then he ruined it because he was cocky, and he was like, oh, I'm never gonna lose a match. I'm like, dude, you're 130. He's wrestling with Hulk Hogan and stuff, and they're beating him up, and he's like, I'm not gonna, and he refused to wrestle and lose. He wanted to win all the matches. So the deal was supposed to be this little kid, one leg, is getting beat on, I'm outside the ring, and I got a fake leg. I go in and pummel the guy that's beating on him. I'm the superhero one-legged guy now. You know what I mean? So, like, the storyline would have been great, but they messed that up. And then they fired me, and that's when I went through depression in Florida. I got a DUI and just didn't give a crap. Went back to the old Steve, was, like, drinking all the time, just gave up on life. And then Steve Kern, one of the trainers that trained me, literally, you know, was like, you're falling apart, bro. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. F this, F that. And I just went back down the dark path and just drinking like a fish. Got another DUI, and I was like, I really gave up on life. I didn't, you know, and then one of my best friends, Rick McIntosh, calls me and goes, hey, I got to talk to you. It was Sunday morning. Meet me for breakfast at 7. I meet him for breakfast. He goes, you're going to come to church with me today? I go, no, I ain't. I said, that's done shipped. I grew up Catholic. I don't want to go to, I didn't go to church. I don't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. He's like, just come for one. I'm like, all right. So I go to church, and I leave, and I look at him, I go, you mother, son of a, I go, did you tell this guy I was coming? Everything he said was my life. So I was like, all right, let me go next week. Let me just check this can't be real, right? So I go back again, and I literally left crying, and I was like, man, this is something's got to give here. So anyways, I went again, and then I just was like, I give up. And then I got baptized again and just gave my life to God again,
and here you are.
and here we are. And it's just been a blessing since, you know. And that's why I tell people all the time, like when I talk to schools about being a bully and being an idiot and just doing dumb stuff and drinking and drugs and all the stuff that I did, I said, man, that got you nowhere in life. I said, I got more than I ever had in my life, in just being good.
But depression, people belittle depression. They don't.
When I went through it, I just turned to the bottle. Like most people, I think a lot of us did, right?
yeah.
Here from New England, because
Yeah.
it's so cold and you got nothing. And everybody's drinking every day. There's somebody you know at a bar right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So it was easy to fall into that stuff. And my family are drinkers, you know, so like alcoholism was in our family, you know, and I just was like, I remember making so much money with my company at that time when I was doing my company. I was spending $10,000, $15,000 at Applebee's every week. I mean, every month. Every month, spending that kind of money at Chili's, Applebee's. No, it's Chili's. When I lived in Lake, it was just going through that, and I'm like, God bless, man. You know.
Well, it's an inspiration, though. People need to hear, you know, that. But again, I mentioned Bob Cox because he tells a wonderful story as well. It's not a wonderful story, but it is.
No.
Well, and
because there are a lot of people out there.
Yeah, depression comes and goes. It's
Yeah.
not like, you know, it wasn't 100% related to your accident, but, you know, you probably went through it when you experienced the trauma, and then years later, things come back. And we have to normalize that for society to say it's
Yeah.
okay that, you know, I might be 10 years out from this incident, but there's something in me that's got to come out, and
Yeah.
I've got to do it, and it's okay. And people
You're
think,
hitting the nail on the head right
you're-
there, for
you're
real.
hitting, you hit the 10-year mark, she must be totally fine, there must be nothing
Yeah.
wrong with her, everything's great.
Yeah.
But,
It's always there.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, there's days, like not for me so much, but there'll be days like when you lose your leg and you're just like, you're like, you want to just, days you're hurting or days or something, it really does affect you. Like, I know people that are still affected all the time by it, but it's what you get out of it. Like, I wouldn't give up being who I was growing up for anything, because when I talk to these kids, they get it. Because I say it from the heart. I'm not a cop. Like a lot of I went to do a speech with one of my cop buddies, and nobody asked him a question because it was in a different community, and the cops like, our parents told us not to talk to cops and this, that, and then they're asking me questions about everything else. Well, you did this, you did that. I'm like, buddy, I did it all. Like, I you know what I mean? I did everything that you think. Like, when I write a book, it's gonna be good because all the truth will be out, and you'll be like, he did what? Oh my God! But yeah, it was, but like, I lived the life, you know what I mean? I did it. I did everything. I sold drugs. I did drugs. I drank booze. I did everything that you shouldn't do. That made me who I am today. You know what I mean? I know that sounds weird,
No.
but I'm thankful for what I did to be able to help somebody else that's in my shoes. That was like, oh, this is easy to make money this way. All right, let's do it the easy way. You know what I mean?
There
It's
is
just-
no easy way.
No, every easy way there's
Even
definitely
if
no
you
easy way.
make it the easy way, there is no easy way at the end of the
No,
day. We
no.
all, you come into the world alone and you're going to go out alone, and you have to realize that there's only one that's going to be with you.
Yep,
you,
And God.
and God.
Don't ever forget God, because that's what's going to get you through most of
It does though, but it did me. Like, there's days when I'm having a bad day and I'll just pray and something good will happen.
Absolutely.
It's so like, for me to finish a marathon, think about it. I'm 6'3", 260 pounds right now. I'm not no small dude to be walking 26.2 miles. And, like in your head, every mile, I was like the last, from 6 to 26.2, I was like, come on, God, please, just let me finish this. Let me finish. Every mile got harder and harder. And then, like, when I see Beth, she's so crazy. See her jumping around like a friggin' nutcake on my phone. Is that you at the bottom now? I'm like, yeah, I can see it. Slow down before you have a heart attack, kid.
Yeah, it's well, and of course you have so many, as you're walking, you have a memory bank of all these people that you've helped.
Yeah.
And there are more down the road, you know that.
Oh, yeah, we're
Waiting for you.
Yeah, this is just starting for me, my charity, honestly. I know it is, but you definitely, it's humbling when people reach out to you.
yeah.
And then you're like, oh, one of my friends knew who you were from this, you know what I mean? Or my girlfriend knows you from that. Like yesterday, I got one of the pictures that they showed of the older guy from Tingsboro. He called me yesterday, and he hasn't walked in 7 months because they were gonna cut his other foot off, but they put some new stuff on. It's healing now, so now he's just gonna go get a brace instead of a foot. So, they're coming up with better stuff for the people.
Oh, they are.
Like I had a hole in my foot this year, and they were talking about cutting my foot off, and I got some stem cell, and it grew back in 10 days.
It is
days.
amazing. Isn't it amazing?
10 days.
But,
It's ridiculous. 10 days.
we just need to get the medical community back on track.
But
And- but I'm gonna
if it's
say-
not curable, if there's no money in it, why do they want to cure it?
Well, because I'll tell you why, because
Don't you think so? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what? You can't tell me there's no cure for some of the cancers. I mean,
course there.
I know people that are eating well. Hulk Hogan's niece had cancer, stage 4. She started doing the stuff that Joe Rogan talks about on his show, and literally don't have no cancer. Stage 4. Now she don't have cancer for 8 years now.
Yeah.
So don't it just. But if it ain't making money, they don't. Then the big pharma runs the world.
Well, they do, but docs are an interesting breed because for the most part, they have a calling as well. Yeah. And I remember when we first started and the HMOs first came out and everybody jumped on board, and then they got sick of being told what to do. And I think that's what's happening. And when Va is in the VA, and he just had carotid. I'm so amazed in the care in the VA right now.
Yeah.
That didn't used to be. I used to mock the VA and say terrible things because they were horrible. Well, now it's all changed, and I talked to
Some of them, because the prosthetic world's still the same.
Well, see,
Yeah,
I don't
the
know that,
prosthetics
and so
is
that
still
need,
now-
I need to talk to you about
Yeah,
that, because.
prosthetics is still the same. As long as they take to make legs, it's the same as every other prosthetic
So-
company out there.
See,
They're
that
horrible.
you have to work, and you can, but
Yep.
see, I think you can do that, because when I talked to the docs, the surgeon was from Leahy, another one was from Brigham. I said, what's going on? What are you doing here? And they said, because we can practice medicine, and you can't out there.
Yep.
An insurance company is telling you
It's
how to
just-
practice. So I think I'm hoping. I
They're
kinda
holding,
hope.
the insurance
Yeah.
companies are holding you like a horse race that's fixed.
yeah.
They're pulling back on the horse, you know what I mean?
And to know that there's something there that you can do, like,
Yep.
and that's why you're not involved with the insurance companies. And I think that this, and listening to you say, well, there's a niche there in the VA for prosthetics, then have to work on that.
Yeah, and there sure
That-
is. I mean,
that's-
listen, I shouldn't help any vets. My charity should not help any vets. They should have the best care in the world.
Yes.
They shouldn't have to wait 6 months to get a leg, though. So that's the problem with
Yes.
that's the problem. What happens is, my buddy explains it the best. He's like, all right, see, when I go to the VA to get a script for a prosthetic, they ship that out to DC. DC's got to look at it with all these other people that are just never seen a day in war, and they want to wait these kids. And one of the Marines I get legs for was Max Gothier, one of the best kids in the world. And he was fighting for the VA for 6 months to get a leg. He had duct tape holding his leg on.
Oh.
His uncle came up to me at church one day. He goes, hey, you drive that big red truck? I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to get yelled at. I cut him off. I drive like a typical Boston guy. Driving this big-
Orwellian.
I'm like driving this huge truck. I'm like, oh, God, what did I do to this guy? He's like, hey, my nephew lost his leg, and I heard you're the leg guy. I go, yeah, I guess so. So I ended up talking to him. That was on a Sunday. Monday morning, he picked up his nephew, picked me up. We went to get him a leg. Friday, he was walking home with a brand new leg.
We need to shame them. We can shame the
Yeah.
VA. I
Yeah.
think you can. I think they're in a position that you can shame them.
Well, the good thing about the VA now is, like, since Trump did that thing for them, they can go see other doctors now.
Absolutely.
So he saved the vets basically for that, because that was a huge thing with all the other presidents. They didn't want that to go nowhere else. It had to be in the VA.
That's right.
And then Trump changed that, so now they all they gotta do is fill out the thing and they can go somewhere else, which is a huge, thank God for that, for real.
Yes. Except we got to get the good docs into the VA.
Yeah, well, that's, what it is, like,
it
my
is.
doctor, my primary doctor says it the best. He goes, the VA doctors are the doctors that are making 150 grand a year and happy with that and going to see 2 patients a day, or going to see 4 patients a day and leaving. That's all they do, and they're on the golf course by 12 o'clock. He says it. He's, you gotta find Doc, like, I mean, like, we had a nurse, we had a nurse that got vaccinated and I buy her legs for her. She ended up getting vaccinated and she had blood clots and she passed away when she was at my, she had a bad reaction and she passed away, and her family still, like, it was funny. I flew all her family to the prosthetic company, because that's where she would pass, and they were doing a heroes,
Yeah.
when whatever it's called, walking her down the thing to go take her body parts. She saved like 6 people, but they were doing a hero's walk or whatever it is. So I flew their whole family down. It was like I think 8 of them. I flew them all down so they could go say bye to her, and so we paid for all that. And then she got to say bye, and then the next day she went to the prosthetic company with her legs to give to somebody else. And it was ironic because there was a kid there that couldn't afford running blades, and we don't buy older people, like real older people, running blades. And the family says, we want to give it to him, and he got it. Now he runs all the time, sends them videos. So it's kind of a, it's like one,
Well, it's
good and bad.
snowballs, though. It
Yeah,
can.
it really does.
It can, So I like to be optimistic and think that we can make some changes.
Yeah.
You got to. I mean, as you say, you talk about Trump making the change. I know the change was made in the VA, and I've.
Oh, no,
actually
100%. It's
I've
awesome.
seen it.
Yeah.
But not that that's enough. I'm not saying that.
No.
You still have to do more, and but at least the opening is there, I think.
And you know what it is, though? If you fight for it, they're going to give it to you.
Yeah. Oh.
But you're talking about a Marine kid that was 20 years old when he lost his legs, that is not going to beg for something he deserves.
Well, that's the other thing.
So that's the only thing that, like, and his uncle ended up stopped making the calls to the VA to push it to get faster.
Well, that's just the mentality of the vets.
Yeah.
But
Most vets.
you can.
Most vets are hard-headed. All mine, I know, are crazy, so I don't know.
So you can play on that.
Yeah, I love my vets, but some of them, like, they're just like, I ain't going through him. I'll just pay for
I
it myself. You know what I mean? Because it just, why? Like, it's a vet that fought for our country.
Hey,
that lost
tomorrow,
his
City
country.
Life, we got Evelyn Darwin's gonna be here.
We flew through
Bob
this.
Howie's gonna be here, and Sam Chase, they're gonna be there. Linda, time is short.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Have a happy Easter. God bless, and wonderful marathon.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
thank Steve for
We'll be
coming
cheering
in.
you on.
Thank you so
Yes,
much. God
no,
bless
thanks,
everybody.
Bob.
Yeah.
You're on.
You're the best
Keep
weather
his
on
name.
Monday. Thanks.